My first question is: would you watch a film that has some investigators going to a location, and instead of finding like a portal to hell or whatever, they found some nice spirits which just played around but didn't actually cause any trouble?
I think I would. I feel like it would be very interesting because obviously, like, that is what you expect.
So is this almost a twist on hell, essentially? Like almost like it was, everyone was lied to all along, it's actually a lovely place.
It was kind of inspired by some paranormal investigators that I sort of listened to a podcast a bit of time ago, and I've always wondered, like, would people watch that? Because from my perspective, I would, but I'm
How would you make this? Would you do it through green screens? Because there isn't kind of a hell on earth there.
pretend documentary style, and it's probably going to be this group of people going to visit a place, and then them finding sort of a specific spirit that sort of talks to them through, I don't know, spirit box, dowsing rods, pendulum. I don't want to use the Ouija board, so that's off the picture.
Are these spirits going to be people, or are they going to be voices, essentially?
I could do voices, but I was thinking more of just sort of close up and sort of using, because I want to do tension. So if I do the way I film it with sort of camera angles and showing what the responses are. So with the Ouija board, you have the hole in the I don't even know what they're called, the little things which move. And you,
Okay. No, but I know what you mean. Like,
I don't use Ouija.
When they meet the good spirits, is that at the end or
It's at the start, but they're going to mistaken it for a bad spirit.
Oh, okay. And then, so do you know how you want the story to evolve? Because I think it's really interesting. Like, I think it's actually more interesting if they were nice than evil. Because I feel like that's quite like an overused trope.
Well, I really wanted to just do sort of meeting this nice spirit, and sort of them interpreting it incorrectly. But then Adam was like, well, you kind of got to have something for them to go up against, so maybe there's something else chasing after them, and the spirit helps them get away. What would you guys fear the most? So this is sort of moving away from that idea that I
just
had.
as a general?
Just in general. So I've got some examples here. So common household items, stuff like maybe curtains. So you can only open them at like daytime, because if you open at night, something sort of watches you through the window. That sort of restriction, and you don't know what would happen if you left them open during night when it's dark.
Are these options?
Well, these are just sort of brainstorming. So one of my ideas was about an Amazon Alexa haunting. I say haunting, sort of creating a horror around that. So lights, music, randomly turn it on and off. But then I was like, what other common objects can be used to create fear?
Yeah.
An electric fan left on too long.
Yeah, I feel like anything electric, because it can just set your whole house on fire.
There you go.
What I think is quite a almost fearful thing, and it is the sound of animals during nighttime. I feel like I don't know if I'm steering away from something.
I like that.
But actually, last night I happened to hear foxes screaming, and I was really scared because I heard some screaming foxes at night, and I was like, this is really quite scary. And I thought, wow, this is almost like I'm in a horror film, which is cool, very coincidentally. But a lot of almost, you could make normal sounds sound like that, and that can be scary the way you interpret it.
I have quickly another idea. I feel like if you maybe use phones, because I'm freaking terrified of my phone like recording me or like watching me all the time. So that could be like something with like household objects, just like watching you and like.
That's what I was going for with the Alexa as well, because you've obviously got the voice activation. Yeah. Another thing is, what place would you find scariest?
Like a hospital, I feel like, and that's a very like common answer for everyone.
Or a church. To do spirits, so church is spiritual, right?
I feel like you can make anywhere scary if you really wanted to. Because I find you can find your house scary, even like being home alone. You can make anywhere scary. I probably feel most scared in areas I haven't been before. So a sense of knowing but not knowing, like areas. So as Julia said, hospital, like what a hospital is, but I might not have ever been to this area of the hospital.
Just like maybe the element of just unknown.
if the location was set in caves, what would you fear about the caves?
Sorry, I just have a really good like location
Hellfire
info.
caves.
Yeah, because you can book it out. 'Cause I was gonna
Yeah.
book out all my other projects.
Really?
I
Okay.
haven't looked at the prices.
Yeah.
I feel like in a cave, I'd be most scared of bats in a sense. Not because I'm actually fearful of bats, but because there's a sense of you can't see them and they could just glide into you, and there's a almost they're almost scary in their own.
Yeah, I think the darkness would be the most scary. That's a very good point.
Oh, as Olivia said earlier, the sense of not knowing, this is unknown.
Or like just echoes and noises, and you don't know, or like maybe the cave having very like not solid, weak foundations, and like maybe you think like it's gonna crumble
What
on you.
what kind of cave is this? Is this like a really
The Hellfire
wide cave
caves
or
are
like a
like
really kind of thin
the-
cheese cave? What do we know?
The Hellfire caves are literally just like two paths that go really deep down into like a big old like.
Well, in that case, I'd be really scared of getting stuck or getting lost.
And there's like a bunch of historical figures
Yeah.
there, so you could use that as like.
That's where the documentary part was going to come in.
Oh, that's so cool if you do that. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
And then I have one more. I think we've covered the Amazon Alexa
Yeah.
thing, but you see lots of horrors about maybe not specifically based on this, but when someone sort of orders food to be delivered to them. I know,
They know
Yeah.
your address now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. But what if it was the other way around and it was actually the delivery person who gets a spook, so goes to like an abandoned house or maybe a normal house and it just doesn't sit right?
Yeah.
How do you get spooked? Sorry.
I mean, someone very pale in like a wedding dress with suspicious patches of red
Yeah.
dotted around it.
Well, I think for this you could use the uncanny valley effect, which I love. I've done so much research into this, and where it's the sense of almost feeling something so familiar, like you could have this house which this delivery driver goes to, feeling so familiar and almost like so normal but not normal at the same time. So everything's just slightly off.
Yeah.
It looks. You add the uncanny valley effect says it looks human but not human.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could be definitely something you could easily like to make kind of almost psychological thriller.
Thank you very much for answering those questions.
Good.